What's up guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make beats for NETTSPEND like Early Life Crisis. So let's get straight into the video. First, starting with the melody, our first layer here is from Expand, and it sounds like this. It's kind of just a high-pitched, repetitive lead sound, and in terms of mixing, I just added a flanges here, and then a low cut on the EQ so it doesn't clash with the 808s. Now, moving on to the next layer, this one's also from Expand. Once again, similar kind of thing, just something repetitive. You got a shaper box here, here's a preset. And then I also have some distortion, here's the preset. And then this EQ, because there's some frequencies right here that I didn't like. And then finally the low cut. Now moving on to the next layer, we have this one from Serum. And then in terms of mixing on this one, I didn't really do much. All I did was just add the low cut, nothing else besides that. And then moving on to the next one, here we have this from Serum. As you guys can hear, some effects on it, so I just added this preset, this distortion preset, and then that's really it, just the EQ. And moving on to the next layer, we have this one from Serum. And this is the lead throughout the chorus, as you guys can see right here. And you're going to want these kind of screechy leads in these beats to kind of just fit with like the whole vibe of the different beats. And then next I have this. There's not much going on here. It's just a simple thing. And then in terms of mixing for this one, I just have an EQ. And for the last one, I have just 2 EQs because I want to do a little something with this one. And then here is the final layer of the melody. And both this layer and the previous layer are very simple, just 2-note patterns, because I felt like there was a little bit of extra space in these 2 spots in the melody that could be filled, which is why I decided to add those pretty simple patterns. And then in terms of mixing, once again, just some EQs. Now I'll play all the melodies together so you guys can hear what that sounds like. Now moving on to the drums, first starting off with the 808. Here's the pattern, and this plays throughout the entire song for the most part. It's nothing too crazy, pretty simple pattern. And then during the intro right here, I've copied over the pattern but just simplified the ending, as you guys can see. And then I have this same pattern in the intro right here during this break before the chorus comes back in after the verse. And by the way, this 808 is from Warren Hunter's drum kit. Good, very good drum kit for these type of beats. For any underground beats in general, actually, highly recommend it. And there are a bunch of sounds. I actually used, all the drum sounds in this beat that I used were from his kit, not just the 808. So now moving on to the hi-hat, is a very, very simple hi-hat pattern. Just the 8th notes throughout the whole thing, and then just got some 16th notes right here. In terms of the clap, of course, it's just a basic clap pattern. Yeah, I mean, you guys get the point. And then next up, I added this little vocal vox perk thing. And I kind of just wanted this to be subtle, or not subtle, but not take over the percussion section of the beat. So I only had it once per bar. I initially had it twice per bar, but then I just took half of them out because I felt like it was kind of overpowering. And now the next sound we have is this accent snare. Yeah, and next up we have open hats. So we have 3 different open hats. Here's the first one. Looks like this, or this is actually the second one, but here's the first one, as you guys can see, and then here's the last one, and they all kind of work together to create a cool effect, and I'll play what all three of them sound like together. Yeah, and then finally, last but not least here, we have this snare roll, which sounds like this. Pretty simple, just plays a few times throughout the beat, as you guys can see. And now play all the drums together. Here's what they sound like. And last thing I'll show you before we get into the arrangement is this little effect siren thing I added. So it's just this like trap siren. It's pretty common. You've probably heard it before if you've listened to underground music or just trap beats in general, I guess, actually. Not even necessarily underground beats. And I just took the sample, I split it like right here because initially there was some like delay already in the audio, but I didn't want the delay because it didn't match up with my tempo, and I would just want to do my own delay effect because I wanted to have a stereo effect as well on the delay. So basically, I did that, then I rendered it out, and then I split it up and chopped it up and panned these different directions here to just kind of create a cool effect, building up um, into the beat drop, I guess. And I mean, you guys can just hear what this sounds like. I don't know. I think it sounds pretty cool together, just as a transition. And then, last but not least, let's go ahead and look at the arrangement. So, in terms of the arrangement, it's pretty simple, pretty common arrangement, I would say. We first just have this 4-bar intro, which is followed by a 16-bar chorus, transitioning into a 32-bar verse, back to the chorus for 16 bars, and then finally an outro for 16 bars. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned how to make NETTSPEND beats. If you like the beat and you want the beat, there's a link to the beat on BeatStars in the description. You guys can definitely go check that out. And yeah, have a great day.